Welcome back to Shah Travels. In this one, I'm taking you to a great little campsite in the high country called Red Bluff, which is near Licola. That's around 3.5 hours from Melbourne. It's a great campsite if you want access to a river and also want a really nice swimming hole too. Now I'll show you exactly where it is, just off Tambaritha Road. Now we headed here on Cup Day and it was quite funny because we could see literally hundreds of cars pouring out of these campgrounds as it was a public holiday. We drove through all the different campsites on that road. There was no one there. We had our pick of the bunch and we found that Red Bluff had the best access for a caravan to turn around. It also had the best access for the river too. This was an absolutely beautiful spot. Now the drive to the spot is accessible by two-wheel drive and it's a fairly popular spot for swimming because it's got the big swimming hole in front of the red cliffs. This is just something to bear in mind. We camp just off to the right as you drive in. However, the main area where you can camp, you might just have people coming in, walking past or through your campsite to access the river or swimming hole. Just something to bear in mind. Now, Caravan is 14 foot. If you have a bigger van, it's probably not going to be the best spot for you. It was fairly well sloped. We arrived late in the afternoon, set ourselves up and had a bit of dinner. Now when we rolled into camp, there was actually a campfire still burning, 30 plus degrees, windy, one road in, one road out. Really not a good thing to do. Make sure if you're having a fire, you take a bucket down to the creek and then put your fire out before you leave. You'll see in some pictures, our kitchen wastewater drains into a bucket and we leave that by the fire just in case. Now after the long weekend, lots of people had left wood by their campsites. We went in and picked a bit up. Didn't have to worry too much about our fire getting out of control though because it was all pretty green. It didn't burn very well at all. The next morning we woke up to beautiful blue sunny skies, decided to spend the day just swimming at the waterhole. Now right in front of our campsite is a beautiful shallow section of river and then literally about 200 meters walk away there's the Red Bluff cliff and there's a deep swimming spot just in front of it. It is a really beautiful spot. There's little waterfalls, the water is perfectly clear. And we spent the whole day making dams, just throwing rocks in the water because that's what kids love to do. The swimming hole there is deep enough to be able to properly swim in it and stand up in it. Such an amazing spot. We also spotted this huge Gwana in a tree. It was walking around the camp quite a bit, it must be its home. And then at night we saw a heap of yellow frogs hanging around. It's no wonder the Gwana looked so well fed. Next morning when we woke up, the weather wasn't looking great. It was quite cloudy. Typical Melbourne, Victoria, 30 plus degrees one day, cold the next. Had a little bit of car trouble that morning. It wouldn't disengage from four-wheel drive, or at least the four-wheel drive light was staying on. So Tom had to do a bit of work on the car and then we got going. We dropped some air out of the tyres and then we decided to drive up to the Pinnacle Lookout. So this is a working fire tower where you can see over all the different mountains in the area. It is an amazing vantage point. We were in the clouds while we were there, walking around. It was really cool, but also very cold. The walk from the car park, I'd say, is maybe 200 meters is quite a steep climb. You do have to walk on some uneven rocks. In saying that though, they have got these chain fences that run along so you can kind of balance, pull yourself up. You are pretty much walking along a ridgeline / cliff edge. Something to keep in mind, we did keep our 3-year-old on a very tight leash. After the Pinnacle Lookout, we decided to drive a small section of Billy Goat track. Tom wanted to get a couple of pictures of the car. Now we drove in from the Pinnacles road, and this is a very short drive to get to Billy Goat track. If you're coming from the Gwana side, it's a much longer drive. Now we only did a very small section, it wasn't too difficult, and the road before we got onto Billy Goat track, there was a bulldozer there flattening it all out, so it wasn't a difficult drive. When we got back to camp, we quickly realized that we were running out of battery power. Now, because it was so cloudy, we couldn't get much solar into the van. We weren't parked in the best spot, and at that point, we didn't have our portable solar blanket wired to the van. This was one of our first trips away with the Caravan. It was a bit of a test as to how long our battery would last. We were also running an extremely inefficient old freezer that honestly held about 4 ice creams. This is definitely a campsite that we'll come back to. We absolutely loved it. If you're looking for somewhere to stay in the Licola High Country area, this really ticks all the boxes. If you've liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.